I remember that 6:22, first mission to the moon. Till 6:18, believe me, it was pouring in Sri Harikot. Thunder, lightning, everything. And it was absolute no sit. 6:20, the sun came. The mission said, we are a go for launch, and we took off.
Chandrayaan-3 landing, when you realized and finally got to know that we have landed on the south pole of the moon.
Liftoff normal.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LVM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft.
Everything went out very well. At the last moment, coming down. Fortunately, it lost communication. Till the last minute, we were holding our breath.
Balasaheb Thackeray walking in the office at that time.
He has come to our house in Pune. They used to work together in Free Press Journal in Fountain. They shared the same table. Balasaheb went into politics at one time. Dad went on to cartooning.
What was that quality in these three fellows, these three individuals, gave them that privilege and the opportunity to become the chosen few? And I think so the test that that I saw in that movie, the kind of test they had to go through, the constant revolver machine and that.
The most stressful moments, you had to be calm. If you have that, Neil was selected on that.
When you read that Neil Armstrong becomes the first person to step on the moon, one small step for me, one giant step for the mankind.
It was quite exciting. The first man on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And I never realized that when Neil Armstrong put his footstep on the moon, that I would meet him years later.
The ROSCOSMOS, the Russians, the USSR back then under Khrushchev, put their first satellite into the Earth's orbit. The Americans got throttled. They were under a panic state because, now they had to do something.
So, May 25th, 1961, Kennedy made his famous speech. We put a man on the moon and bring him back safely, no single effort. Within 8 years, they put a man on the moon.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा.
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
How are you? Here we lift off. Welcome to the Manastu Space podcast. This is Raj Shrivastava. I am the marketing and PR manager, and this moment right now I have in the studio with me my marketing team Harshdeep Singh, Harshwanshi Chilal, and they're sitting on this side, not in the frame though, but still having the energy in the room, Ruchira Sawant, and behind the cameras the one and only Anil Shinde. So welcome from the Manastu Space podcast team. Right now this is a very special moment as I'm having a very special gentleman in front of me who I remember having the best enthusiasm I've ever seen in a very long time with childlike innocence. And the first time I met him was the very moment I connected with him with his energy. And in the talks of it, I realized that he is carrying a huge legendary legacy on his back. But in spite of that, he has been able to carve out his own niche, carve out his own legacy as a space journalist, and more than anything as a space lover. The stories of atomic revolution in India. And the first time we met, I realized that he is the son of the one and only Mr. R.K Laxman. He started his career as a reporter in Times of India, then went on as a senior reporter and correspondent for the aviation field. But for his love out of space, he did space journalism. And today, with more than 42 years of experience, we have him sitting in front of me. And this is one of the most grateful moments of my life. The intro is long, but it is truly and totally worth it. Mr. Srinivas Laxman.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for the lovely intro. I didn't know I was so great till you told me.
No, sir. That's the beauty about great things and great people. They don't
I
know
wish
their
my wife
own
was
shine.
here to know that what I am. Here you. Thank you so much. Okay,
no, sir.
go
The
ahead.
pleasure is all ours. Gratitude. Okay, let me start with the t-shirt that first of all you're wearing.
Yes,
what are you
sir.
wearing today?
Yes. I got this t-shirt. It was done by a company in Pune. What's it called? Indic Inspiration. Near there, they were advertising this. So I got two. One I gave her and she refused to wear it today. And I keep wearing this for all important occasions.
Okay, I can see Chandrayaan written on it.
Chandrayaan 3.
Chandrayaan 3.
3 and also the landing time.
Absolutely. What is the landing time?
It's 6:08, I think. 6:2 or 6:8.
Chandrayaan 6:04 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 23 seconds. Evening time.
Yeah.
Perfect. And recently we celebrated National Space Day.
Yes.
Which is, as a tribute to Chandrayaan-3 landing.
Yeah.
So what was that moment for you when you realized and finally got to know that we have landed on the south pole of the moon?
That was the day we were all in touch with each other at home, waiting for that great moment. And I remember Chandrayaan-2, we both were together in Nehru Science Center, and everything went off very well. Till the last moment around 3 o'clock, no, Ruchi? It was 3 o'clock. When unfortunately it lost communication. So that day when we were watching this thing coming down, and Mr. Chairman was there, the Prime Minister was in Johannesburg and all.
Mr. Somnath,
and it was coming down. Till the last minute we were holding our breath. And then Mr. Somnath finally announced we are on the moon.
Yeah.
That was such a moment, I'll tell you, really a moment. We achieved it. That's all I'm saying.
We did
it.
And the pat on the back.
And interestingly, it was the day after my mom's birthday.
Wow.
So I can't really forget that day, 23rd August. And it was a great moment.
Truly
We achieved it. First country in the world to have landed on the South Pole region, a difficult portion of the moon. The first country on 24th September to have entered Martian orbit. And I was there in Bangalore that day when at 7:30 when we entered. It was a great moment.
Yeah, and I think it was all the furthermore special because, last year, the last try that we had under the leadership of Mr. K. Sivan, the ISRO chief before Mr. Somnath, Chandrayaan-2, I mean, it was almost supposed to do its job, but unfortunately we lost the connection.
Let me tell you, Raj, 70% it succeeded. But that last 30%, there was a problem.
Okay.
That thruster problem. And in
thruster problem. That's what we are making, thrusters.
Yeah, this thing. And that is something that happens to any space program. I mean, NASA, you go and see how many of them have failed. Apollo 13 movies
because
coming.
of the propulsion systems yet again.
Yes.
Because of the blast.
O2 oxygen explosion.
Yeah.
And the movie is coming again back on 19th, the 30th anniversary of the first launch.
The last one I enjoyed, starring Tom
I
Hanks.
saw it 10 times, Apollo 13. And we are planning to see it again.
Call me, sir.
Huh?
Call me.
Yeah, but I don't see the ads in the paper at all. Somehow I don't know whether it's coming here. But even then, see, it's something inevitable. And in space, they don't say it's a failure. The word used is it's a learning curve.
Learning curve.
And the thing about Chandrayaan-2 is that the other orbiting module, the propulsion module is doing quite well. It's doing a lot of stuff. And recently, the IIT Bombay team discovered something, and we carried a story on it in Times of India. I sent it to Tushar also. His whole team only did it.
What did they do exactly?
That chemical composition of the surface of the IIT Bombay team did it, of Chandrayaan-2.
Lovely.
And the first time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Let me take you back in the time now. When you were a handsome, and you're still very handsome.
Yes, I'm a handsome
20-year-old boy. No doubt, sir, without a question.
Okay.
And, you were chilling in Mumbai.
Mumbai.
The
birth city.
Right, the birth city. How was the city back then? How was you? I mean, what was happening with you, your love for space? And how was the relationship between your Ma and Baba was, curving out for all of you as a happy living family? And tell me the first steps towards Indian space, if I can say, or space in general.
First step of India's space program or my step?
Your and India's space program. I think they kind of grew together.
Not really, because I'll tell you, the Indian space program literally started on 1963, November 23rd, 6 o'clock in the evening. If you see the movie Rocketry, everything is explained in that. The sounding rocket. First one that went up, Kalam was involved and several others were involved.
I think Sarabhai ji also.
Sarabhai was involved. Yeah. Chitnis was involved. We just met him in Pune last month. His 100th birthday. Oh my God, 100th birthday. We attended. 3 cakes were put on the table. 100, and they cut 3 cakes. And who's who of ISRO was there? Ex, present and future in that room.
Everyone.
Behind my house only. And it was fun, I'll tell you that. And my space thing began in Times of India. I owe a lot to that paper. The thing is that I started as a crime reporter. We had to do it, whether you like it or not, because that was a training ground, that is where you make mistakes. And they were very particular, you make mistakes, because unless you make mistakes, you can't learn in journalism.
You can never learn.
No,
yeah.
It is like space.
True.
Okay. You make a mistake, they call you, they tell you, look, this is it, this is it, this is it. Then you move on. I did education for a long time. Then came aviation.
Which year was this?
Aviation, I started doing Air India, Indian Airlines, merger the private airlines. Then my biggest takeaway was when in 1992 Gulf War, that refueling of American warplanes scoop at it.
I think it was here in Chhatrapati Shivaji.
Yes,
Airport,
yes.
right?
That's it. And that story created a hell of a ruckus
In the
Parliament. And for which I got an award. But the beauty, can I tell you the story of the award?
Absolutely, sir.
It's a very interesting story. Pritish Nandi was that time the guy who gave the award. You know Pritish Nandi?
No.
He was a Pritish Nandi, you know, no? That guy, he was a guy who ran that communication company. Then he took over Times Group, some of the publications, Weekly, Evening News of India, and all that stuff. But then he left and joined the Sunday Observer. There was a paper. It was operating from Fountain. He called me one day and said, "Look, Srini, this is it. We are giving you this award, and the PM is going to give it."
And who was the PM back then?
That time, I don't know. No, listen. Who was the PM? I'll tell you. That PM is very interesting. It's a superb PM I had in my life. Okay. Then I came home and told my wife, "Look, the PM is giving the award, and it will be in a few months, and we have to get ready." She said, "Okay." Months passed, no sign of the money, no sign of the PM, nothing. The PM's changed. Then I casually asked Nandi what happened to that award, and he said, "No, Srini, you will get it." One day I got a call in the office, "Can you come to Tulsiani Chambers at Nariman Point at Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. I don't know. Some in the afternoon, you know, they all leave and catch the Churchgate trains, VT trains, and go home for the Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
That time. But I said, "A PM will come to Tulsiani Chambers." He said, "No, you come." Then I, my wife, her brother and his wife, they were in Bombay briefly. We went to Tulsiani Chambers. Who gave the award was great. A clerk. A clerk gave us the award. Then he gave me an envelope. He opened a ledger book, like an accountant ledger book, and made me sign and it received. Then he gave me 4 of us. The big ceremony was, each of us were offered Limca drink, and he said, "We are closing the office." That was the award.
That was the award, and handed by which PM?
PM, the clerk. The Saturday afternoon clerk. He was cleaning the office, and last file, the paper sab dalta hai na, Saturday for Monday. He put it inside, locked it. He went over. He said, "Chalo, that is the award."
All right. Let me talk to you about the initial days of ISRO. I want to understand how things were back then. It started
Not
as
bad.
IncoSpar, right?
IncoSpar, I was not really that involved in it that time.
No. But that's how it started, right?
IncoSpar, yes, it started. Then it came to Department of Space and this thing, selection of the site in Tumba, the church, Mary Magdalene Church.
Yeah.
Sarabhai and Bhabha successfully pulled it off by, through that father, Bernard. He convinced the villagers that this church is needed for the India's future. Gave them the compensation, and the church, I visited the church with my wife and daughter. Beautiful church. Superb.
Okay.
Yeah, it's superb it is.
All right. Let's talk about these two father figures of Indian space. One is Dr. Homi Bhabha.
I've not met him.
Vikram Sarabhai.
Neither have I met him.
But what have you read of them? And how did they lay the foundation of ISRO that we see today?
Bhabha, you see, the Indian space program began actually in BARC. Not many people know about it.
What is BARC?
Bhabha Atomic Research Center. It began there. You see, the space program had its initial beginnings here. And unfortunately, I still say that I hope I get an occasion when the Chandrayaan mission goes up, that when Mangalyaan was pulled it off on September 24, 2014, and landing on the moon, this aspect, that what role did BRC play, has never come out at all. And I also regret, I feel I failed. Probably that day, when the landing took place, I should have done a story. And I'm sure Times would have played it up, because it's a Bombay-based story. We have the BRC over here, we have the TIFR over here. And it all began here. The roots were here.
In Mumbai.
Then
Bombay.
This thing. I guess now the next opportunity will come, I don't know when. They are talking about Chandrayaan 5 and 6. This thing. I guess the next opportunity will be this thing. What do you call that? Gaganyaan launch into 2027.
All right. Yeah. How was your initial years, and how was the relationship with Bhabha turning out?
With Bhabha?
Yeah, your father.
Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about Homi Bhabha. No, my dad was a tough guy. I mean, let me be frank with it. He was a very nice person, very encouraging. But he had, I'll tell you something. Can I speak a little? You'd be more interested in that than space and nuclear. See, I studied in a girls' school, Walsingham House School. I've been kicked by girls continuously in my life. Okay. Now, what happened was, he had this tendency of not giving lift to anybody in his car. Okay. Now, the school was located in Nepean Sea Road, Malabar Hill. It is still there. The thing was that the principal had said, if you see any of your classmates or schoolmates, kindly call them because they can reach the school. The bus and all coming late, traffic. I told this to Dad. He said, no, I will not give lift to anybody because I am thinking and I have to draw my cartoons and all. You all are very noisy and all. So till that car took a turn in that Mukesh Chowk, what they call the St. Stephen's Church. You are familiar with that area, right? I had to duck down in the car. Until it reached a point, I had to pop up. And that way, he was not very easy going.
But I think his cartoons were kind of very easy going.
Cartoons are easy going, but I'm not a cartoon nor is this thing. But what I'm trying to say is, he had his little, how do I put it? His
Firmness
in him at home. Nice guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's a great guy to deal with.
Loved by
everybody.
Millions of Indians.
Millions of people at museum, which he played a role in it and this and that. But another thing what I wanted to say was that I had this experience of him and me working in the same floor in Times of India, 3rd floor.
How was that like?
I can't say it was very comfortable. I'm being very, very frank with it because he had this rule that 1 p.m. only he'll have his lunch. And Mom had insisted I should have lunch with him. I told Mom, why the hell should I have lunch with him? Yeah, because my colleagues will go out, we'll go to Aram, we'll go to this thing. That time MACD was not there. But
and which year was this, by the way?
This was all in the 70s, 80s and all. Till he left.
Did you ever had the sight of Mr. Balasaheb Thackeray walking in the office at that time?
No, that time I didn't. Balasaheb Thackeray didn't come to office. Did he come? I don't recall. He has come to our house in Pune. Office, I don't remember.
But did your dad ever talk about, the kind of work relationship they shared?
With
and how
Bala.
was he as an artist? Yeah.
He did share. Yes, he did. They used to work together in Free Press Journal in Fountain. They shared the same table.
Yeah.
And afternoons, they used to have lunch in that sidewalk. Chetna restaurant. We have been there. And Balasaheb went into politics at one time. Dad went on to cartooning. And I think that after that, I don't think them, but they kept in touch. And off and on, the Mom and Dad used to go to Matushri.
Yeah. But I think what drew you towards space then? From crime reporting to becoming a senior reporter?
Was, come on, crime reporting, you were occupying one room in the sense, it was Mumbai. Let's face it. But space reporting means that time ISRO was growing, we were launching new type of rockets. I entered with the PSLV. I did not enter with ASLV. ASLV was handled by other people. The first launch I did was 1997.
Which was this?
PSLV. And it didn't do very well, I think. Something went wrong with it or something. I recall that. I thought, I thought that when the rocket T43210, when it lifts off, you stand in the terrace in Sriharikota and in front of you it goes up. It will blast your eardrum. And after that you don't have to hear your wife's abuses. But then I discovered it is not as loud as it's made out to be.
Okay.
It's tolerable. Then after that I covered several launches. This thing. And my most exciting experience of the ISRO launches is Chandrayaan-1. I'll never forget that at all. Because what happened, it was on my birthday, 22nd of October. They had planned, it was not planned that I called up ISRO and said, no, please do it on.
And which year was this?
2008, when we first launched the Chennai.
I think it was under the leadership of Mr. Kalam.
No. Kalam was not in the scene. Kalam was, I think, present in the mission operations room. But it was under the leadership of, he joined BJP and all that, the chairman.
Okay.
What's his name, yeah?
No worries, we can continue. We can figure it out.
It was under his leadership because I remember 21st night.
Yeah.
I was in Chennai and Mayurush was also there. And pouring rain. I'll tell you, thunder, lightning in Chennai, it was maddening. So our friend in Pune called me up and said, Srini, I think the mission is off because I don't think this mission will go tomorrow. So I said, Mayurush, but officially they have not declared a no-go. He said, no, we are from Maharashtra, let us go. Luckily what happened, my friend was in Sriharikota. I called him up, Satish. I said, Satish, what is the situation? Are we a go or no go? He said, we are going. So I called up Mahesh. I said, Mahesh, don't be in a hurry to book any ticket or rail or air. We are going tomorrow to the moon. He said, how? I said, we are going now. Why means I am telling you we are going. You want to come, come. Otherwise, you want to go back to Pune, go. So 2 o'clock in the morning, we were asked to report to the Times of India office in Chennai. And what rain it was here, 22nd October, the first stars of my birthday. I'll never forget that. I thought it will go. We reached Sriharikota. The launch was scheduled for 6:22 a.m. I remember that. 6:22. First mission to the moon. Till 6:18, believe me, it was pouring in Sriharikota. Thunder, lightning.
Everything.
And it was absolute no sin. 6:20 the sun came out. The moon came out. As though to say 2 minutes. And the mission said, we are a go for launch, and we took off. And it was a successful mission. Because November 14th, we were the first to discover water on the
moon.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a very beautiful thing.
Yes. And it became a little controversial because the NASA said the credit, there were little issues.
Yeah.
But fact is, it was our mission.
Yeah.
The Moon Impact Probe. The chase instrument which our friend had designed. Mac. His name is Mac. Little eccentric guy, but a very nice guy. He discovered that thing.
Now we try to keep it in a chronological manner. Okay, why? Because today, as you know, like all the podcasts are being watched by 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, young. No. I mean, all of us, even young kids are watching the podcast. And space-loving kids are there, because the Chandrayaan-3 mission, the space day, everyone is into it.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to take them back to 1974, in that era, when everything was happening in front of your eyes. And let's give them the stories of that era. How was, how humbly we started, because we have a very famous image of 2 scientists who are part of the ISRO mission back then carrying, the parts of the satellites or rockets on a Bullock Cart, on a cycle, back then.
Yes.
So when we first started...
I was not a part of the...
No, not a part, sir, but you were a spectator, right? You were seeing everything happening around you.
Yeah.
You were probably reading about it. You were writing about it in your columns, correct? Like table discussions with your dad, your mom, and that time.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Now I want to know, in the 70s, our first satellite, I think it was Rohini, if I'm not wrong.
Rohini Satellite.
With it was Aryabhata, the first that we launched
first
with
satellite
USSR.
Was with the Russians. Yeah. It was Aryabhata. April 1975. 5 or 6.
Somewhere around that. Yeah. Let's talk about that. What was that?
Raj, you see, that time I was not much involved in it. I'll tell you, it was a research satellite.
Yeah.
We launched it it was designed and developed by U.R Rao. And it was in a shed in Bangalore, in Pina. They had some diplomatic connections, this, that, everything. And they launched it. But it didn't succeed. To the best of my knowledge, it didn't do very well. Then Bhaskara came, Bhaskara-2 came. Then came the other remote sensing satellites. IRS-1, IRS-2, IRS-3. IRS-C, there was the satellite which was called a jewel in the crown. Because it was one of the best satellites. Aviation Week and Space, Americans called it like that. And at that time, Kasturi Rangan was the chairman of ISRO. At that time, these satellite parts were taken in a Bullock Cart in Tumba.
Yes.
In a cone. From there, they were taken in very primitive methods. Their working conditions were not also
that great or that advanced. They basically made everything what was around them in the best possible manner.
Possible now.
Yeah.
Having lunch, dinner in very run-of-the-town restaurants. That time Trivandrum was not well developed also. Anand Bhavan restaurant. That's where it was. Because today, they are the best. And today, how things have changed. I have not been to Vikram Sarabhai Space Center lately. But I see pictures, I see films, I see this thing. My God, the building, the futuristic outlooks. I mean, the foreign countries are praising us now. We have reached that level.
Or the legacy that we carried. Yeah, because of them.
And you're talking about Rohini Satellite. The first Rohini Satellite of Mr. Kalam didn't succeed. That was August 9th or 19th, That time, Brahm Prakash was the chairman. He called, when the media came, he said, I'll take the entire blame for it. And Kalam had nothing to do with it. He was the mission director, but he said, you leave it to me, I'll handle it. I'll take the blame. July 18th, 1980, when we relaunched it, it became a super success. Brahm Prakash said the credit goes to Kalam.
That's a sign of true leader.
Kalam always mentions that. And that is how the whole thing started.
Yeah. That is a sign of a true leader, as
Yeah.
they say. Wow.
Then there was the SLVs ended, that era ended, so satellite launch vehicles. ASLV came, which is not too successful.
What is ASLV?
Augmented Satellite Launch Vehicle. You have a thing like this.
Okay.
That is slightly a strengthened version of the satellite launch vehicle. This thing. Then came the Polar Satellite Launch, was super successful launches.
Can you, sir, for our audiences who are not aware about these terms, ASLV, PSLV, GSLV, can you tell them what exactly are these and what do they do?
SLV-3 was the first satellite launch vehicle of India, 5 stages. First. Okay, because Vikram Sarabhai wanted it. Because if India had to be truly an independent country, we need our own launch vehicle. We shouldn't depend on foreign countries.
We cannot rely.
On
Yeah.
it. But we are still doing it. After that came Augmented Satellite Launch Vehicle to launch SROS series of satellites, certain type for observation, Earth observation, etc. That era ended. Then came the PSLVs for the remote sensing satellites. That is polar orbit. For remote sensing purposes, for crop observation, this, that, ground this thing.
True.
Then came GSLV, the 3-stage one with the cryogenic stage on the top.
This is the Geo-Satellite Launch Vehicle.
Geostationary Satellite Launch Vehicle.
Okay, Geostationary Satellite Launch Vehicle. Okay.
Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle. GSLV. Then now we are having LVM-3.
What is that?
That is for this Gaganyaan mission, Chandrayaan and all, we use the advanced version of it. Yeah.
All right. What was the first, space mission? Let it be Indian, let it be NASA, or let it be,
First mission in the world.
No. Not first mission in the world, or even Roscosmos, as a matter of fact. Something that, had your heart into, that you were following.
First mission in space was the Sputnik mission by Russians.
Yes.
October 4th, that's why we call it the World Space Week begins that day. October 4th, 1957. But that was more a Cold War thing.
Yeah.
Cold War. Khrushchev versus the American presidents.
Kennedy and
that time, quite a few,
True.
These people wanted to prove there was a race for the moon, race for space, race for the atomic bomb.
Yeah, that's what they call it, space race.
Space race, exactly.
Yeah,
There are a lot of this thing. These people went up. October. It was a shock.
The Russians went up.
It was a total shock. Because that night, if I remember, Werner von Braun.
Sorry, what?
You know Werner von Braun?
No, I don't.
Werner von Braun is the world famous rocket genius. He designed a Saturn V rocket which went to the moon, which took Neil Armstrong and all to the moon. Okay. They were in a cocktail party, not connected with this launch.
Okay.
At the Russian embassy in Washington, D.C. Okay, at that moment. When the party was in full swing, this Sputnik flew over them.
And it launched from Moscow.
Russia.
Moscow.
No. It launched from Titatum or someplace near this launch pad.
Yeah.
While they were celebrating with these American embassy people and the diplomats, Sputnik flew over them saying, "Hi, folks."
They wrote a new page in history.
We have won. Sorry.
Yeah.
If the entire party, it seems, collapsed, that the American, what do you do then they went into a hyper mode, the Americans. Then that time, this fellow was the president.
It was Mr. Kennedy.
No, not Kennedy, even before that. Eisenhower or somebody before that. Said, nothing to worry. It's a toy and all they said. These people started the race. The first one failed, Vanguard. 3 times it failed. Yeah. Then successfully, they also picked up.
NASA, you mean?
NASA came into being on October 1st, 1958. And their rockets went up. These people had a number of failures. And the question was, now having failed, they were winning hands down the Russians. The first lady who went to spacewalk, Valentina Tereshkova, Alexei Leonov, spacewalk, they were winning hands down the Russians.
And they had no answers to them.
Americans said, what are we are losing? Cuban Missile Crisis, the CIA failures. This thing was happening, what do you call that? Several failures. Vietnam failure.
Exactly.
Something had to be done. What do you do? Meetings took place. Secret meeting, National Defense Council, this, that, Pentagon, this, that. Some word came. Put a man on the moon. The secret mission. The secret word went.
And that's how we can actually win up.
May 6, 1961. After Yuri Gagarin went up, Yuri Gagarin went up on April 12, 1961. His flight was for 108 minutes. Okay, 108 minutes. The first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, whom I waved to when my mother told me, look, I'm taking you to wave to a person. I didn't know who it was. And that is where my interest in space began.
And how old were you?
In school, yeah, 4th standard or 5th standard. I mean, you can calculate.
And where were you waving him exactly? Where were you?
Do you know Haji Ali?
Yes.
Little ahead of it, that showroom was there. Car showroom.
Mr. Gagarin basically was in it?
No. He was not in the showroom. He was going in a convoy.
Uh-huh.
Going in a convoy, you know.
Oh.
This thing. And everybody was waving.
Yeah, but this is very interesting. So the Roscosmos, the Russians, the USSR back then under Khrushchev, put their first satellite into the Earth's orbit.
Yeah.
The Americans got throttled. They were under a panic state because, now they had to do something. It was
So
on their
May
reputation.
25th, 1961, Kennedy made his famous speech at the House of Congress.
Yes.
We put a man on the moon and bring him back safely. No single effort will be more risky, more this thing. They got the approval of Democrats, everybody. The funding was given. Within 8 years, they put a man on the moon.
They did. And that was their answer.
Yes,
Back
and they
to
proved
them.
it. Unfortunately, the Russians have not succeeded in that. N1 rocket, their N1 rocket didn't succeed at all. For reasons unknown. The rocket designer was Korolev, Sergei Korolev. Nice guy, very tough fellow to work with. But in this moon mission, I think I don't know.
Okay. So Sputnik goes up. The
After
Americans.
that, several things went up. Like our rocket, the dog went up. Unfortunately, it died.
And I think it unfortunately it died. And I guess animals were the first things as payloads to be put up in
that
the
was
orbit.
to prove that they're entering the manned mission.
Yeah.
That was purely done. But Laika 2 succeeded. Then other 2 dogs succeeded. So one by one, they were succeeding. They had failures. They went up. They went down. They went up.
And then they decided to put a man in space.
Space, Yuri Gagarin. April 12th, 1961. And that was the same day, years later, 1981. 20 years later, the first space shuttle of NASA flew.
Yeah. And so I read it just now. So Mr. Eisenhower was the president.
Eisenhower or somebody
During
before?
Sputnik.
He says Eisenhower, is it?
Yeah,
And he
during
called it a
Sputnik.
toy.
Yeah. And then Mr. Kennedy came in and he gave all the boost, all the pump and all the resources for NASA to give it back to the Russians. Because I think at this time in the 70s or in the early 70s, almost late 80s, the Cold War was at its peak.
Peak.
At its peak.
And it is revived again now.
It kind of, we can say that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going crazy. We are absolutely a part of that thing,
Yeah.
But this time it's a little not even healthy.
Okay. Srini sir, tell me, what was the main difference between Roscosmos and NASA?
Roscosmos is a Russian space agency.
No, that I understand. But their approach, their way of thinking, their love for space, what makes them stand apart?
No, NASA is a little transparent. The way they function and a little easygoing. Because I've been there, number of times. Little easygoing and all. I've not been to Russia. But I guess reading about books, reading about magazines and all, they're very tough, target-oriented.
Focused.
I guess the Russians, like
Focused.
Chinese, Russia. I guess. And they wanted results. And one mission blew up on the launch pad, many died. But Russian system is different, no? Even here, how often do you visit the Russian consulate?
Yeah.
This thing.
Okay, so Cuban Missile Crisis happened. Vietnam happened. The world saw a new wave of capitalism versus communism coming in.
That was the whole issue.
Yeah.
See, that time, this entire space race and the nuclear race was guided not by science. It was politics.
Ego.
Geopolitics.
Yeah.
It is geopolitics which guided Apollo 11. It was more a political mission rather than a scientific mission.
For the humankind.
Yes.
All right. What was that day like when you read that Neil Armstrong becomes the first person to step on the moon? One small step for me, one giant step for the mankind.
One small step for man, but a giant leap for
mankind.
Yes.
Yeah. One small step for man, but a giant leap for mankind.
Yes.
Did you remember reading that headline?
I read about it. You see, our time it was July 21st, 1969.
8 years later.
No. The mission was 8 years later. But for the certain time zones in the world, it was July 20th. But ours was early in the morning of July 21st.
Okay.
And at that time, there was no TV.
No, only radio.
no video. I was
Okay.
following it on the radio. And I remember I rushed to my mom's room and dad's room and said, look, this has happened. It was quite exciting. The first man on the moon. And I never realized that when Neil Armstrong put his footstep on the moon, that I would meet him years later.
Yeah, tell me about that.
That I didn't realize it at all. Because I met both the first and the second and the last.
Okay, first is Neil Armstrong, second is Aldrin Gene Cernan.
Yes, you're
If
right.
I'm not wrong.
You're
Okay,
right.
I'm right. Thank you.
100
Third
out
one
of
I do
100,
not
sir.
remember. Third one I do not remember.
Michael Collins, he died recently. He died. All three. Aldrin is alive.
Okay, okay. How was the meet like? Where did you meet them?
Who? Neil.
Yes.
Neil Armstrong, October 25th.
You remember the date
I
specifically?
remember that day very well, 1969. I was again back to that very spot, almost the very spot where I waved to
Yuri
the
Gagarin.
Yuri Gagarin with my mom. But this was a Sunday afternoon, okay? Sweltering Sunday Bombay afternoon. On Sundays, bro, I don't come out at all of my house. But for Neil Armstrong, if I had said no, then something must be wrong with me.
This guy is the first person
Man
to
on the
step
moon,
on
and
the
you're
moon.
supposed to be a space, this thing.
Yes.
I walked up from my house. At that time, the US consulate was just across. Even now it is there. Walked up. And to my surprise, the massive crowd here from Breach Candy, this, that, Mahalakshmi temple, that circle, that Cadbury Junction, the circle, that's where I was standing. Okay. Said, man standing next to me was Raja Ramanna, the
Oh,
man with the
damn.
atomic bomb, with carrying his daughter. He was standing with the crowd. And after some time, the convoy came. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, waving to the crowd. I waved to them. I was, what? Of course, Neil Armstrong, I waved, fine. Buzz Aldrin, I waved, fine. But what really impacted me was the man, Raja Ramanna, the first man to make India a nuclear weapon country, standing next to me, also waving. He could have easily gone to TIFR that night. There was a reception for Neil Armstrong that night there. But he didn't go there immediately. Yeah? He stood on the road. And I've written about it here. Here, there, one of them places.
The Atomic Rendezvous.
It is there as well as here.
Guys, if you want to know more about this story, you should get this book, The Atomic Rendezvous. Where can they find them? Where
At
can they find
Amazon.
it? On Amazon. Guys, please do check it out. I'll add the description. the link in the description.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's continue with the story.
That's it.
Yeah.
Then what happened years later, when I was in Times, I got a message from my chief saying that tonight you have no sleep. 1995, I remember that day. He said, you can't sleep tonight. I said, why? He said, relax, you go to the airport. I still remember the day. Go to the airport, you will have a surprise for you.
And what was this surprise?
I'll tell you. They had, that time, the Terminal 2, that old building, not the present one.
Yeah.
That. My guy at time, the contacts were given this, that and all. That time there was an old airport reporter. He was covering the airport scene. I was only handling it.
Airport reporter.
There was a guy for clearing all these times, guys who came to clear them in the customs,
Okay.
Basically, all the flight delays and all he used to report, And basically their job was to clear people in these times, executives in the customs and all, the immigration. And he sort of facilitated my entry into the custom area. And the custom officer was told not to tell me who's going to come out. Customs officer and I became good friends. We were talking, saying different people. Then I remember this, 3 o'clock in the morning, the Lufthansa flight landed. It came, then when people started coming out, checking out, and he said, go and meet that man standing there. I said, how can I just go and meet him? What is the reason? He said, you go there. And you will, I did it. It turned out to be, it was Neil Armstrong. I say, I couldn't control myself, yeah. For a minute, the man who stood first on the moon was standing next to me, and all those people, those trolley wala, they were pushing him like this. This thing, knowing he is the guy who did it. Then I didn't know what to say. I said, sir, good, this thing, welcome to Mumbai. And he said, yes, hello. I said, I had to appear like a bloody fool. I continuously appear, but what question to ask? If I had known, I could have raised issues. Said, how did you feel about going to the moon? That question, I was waiting for it. And he said, fine, this, that. 2 minutes he spent. I remember those girls were there from Chennai, some girl students, and car drove off. they asked me who. I said it's Neil Armstrong. He's the first man on the moon, and we didn't meet him.
They freaked out.
They freaked out. 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Next day there was a press conference at the President Hotel.
In Mumbai.
Mumbai, everything in Mumbai. A huge crowd here, journalists, this, that, this, the BBC, CNN
The
team,
who's and who of everywhere and everyone.
the
Yeah.
media people, Delhi people had come. He came, he made an intro remark, this, that. Then my turn came, because they told us you have to ask questions in certain order, you know.
Yeah.
I asked a question. I said, sir, will you go back to the moon? He gave an answer. The whole auditorium started laughing. He said, if you come with me, I'll go back.
What was your answer to
I
this?
said, look, I wish I can. That evening there was a big party in
Yeah.
Taj for children only. He gave a fantastic description of the final landing on the moon and all, you know.
Yeah.
And my wife and I met him. I got his autograph, and that is it. That was fun, and I think after that, I think then that is it.
But such moments happen once in a lifetime. sir.
And what about, okay,
Yeah.
that was a very friendly meeting with Neil Armstrong. I'll now take you to the second man.
Yeah.
The second man, Buzz Aldrin. I was in Jerusalem,
Okay, Israel.
Israel. I was one of their guests for this International Astronautical Congress. Now, there was a press conference. BBC, they said Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
He is second.
Equally legendary feat.
Equally
all we
legendary
can say.
feat, and whatever it is,
Yeah.
this thing. I attended. I asked a question also. What do you think of India's space program? He said your Mars mission was a super success. The whole world is talking about it. If you apply the same technology to solve your home problems, it will be very nice and all. It was a great answer. After the press conference got over, I went and stood in the chalet. They had these chalets. Each company, this thing. There was a thing called Space IL, a private mission of Israel to the moon. I was standing there. Nobody was there. I was just standing looking around at all those folders, looking at. When I turned around, Buzz Aldrin was standing next to me. Here. I said, sir, can
Do you have any photos?
I didn't take. Unfortunately, I didn't take. I should have
Okay.
done it. I said, sir, can I have your interview? He got so angry. He chewed me up.
What did he say?
He said, what do you mean by asking such questions? I will not let you do that. And he walked out. There was a girl who was shepherding him around. She said, don't worry, he talks like that only. Then I told my ISRO people that, look, he's talking. He said, he's like that only. He's a very unpleasant person because he didn't land on the moon. He put his foot on the moon second. I said, chalta hai, abhi kya karenge? Then my wife sent a message. Have you got his autograph and your dad's sketch? Arey Baba, he's not letting me live only. What autograph will I get on the sketch?
Yeah.
The last man on the moon I met, Gene Cernan. It's there in the book. He's a very pleasant person. Extremely pleasant.
Very gracious, very kind.
The interview took place in a parking lot at the airport, Terminal 1.
In the airport parking lot.
Air parking lot.
All right.
They're a very nice person. And he told me that if I had an opportunity, I would have landed on the moon. Unfortunately, what NASA had done was that reduced the fuel in the...
he had to be inside the...
Yeah. Thing. That was a training mission, a rehearsal for the landing.
Okay. So why do you think what was that quality in these three fellows, these three individuals that gave them that privilege and the opportunity to become the chosen few? Did you realize anything
very
like
interesting
talking to
question
them?
because I was reading about it in terms of the nuclear weapon program last night, and the thing what I'm saying is Neil Armstrong was selected. You see, there was a competition between Buzz and Neil. And when Buzz was announced, because what how they announced it, Neil will sit on this side, Buzz will sit here, then Michael will be in the center or something, which indirectly meant, look, Neil will be the first man out. See, what they did was in your performance appraisal, you have a performance test, this thing. He did a good score. Neil got a score. And Buzz also got. But they were looking for somebody who was absolutely cool in the stressful moments. You had to maintain your cool.
Calm.
Absolutely calm. In the most stressful moments, you had to be calm. If you have that, Neil was selected on that.
Nerve of steel. nerve of steel. Like you have to be like very calm, very
Calm,
composed,
absolutely calm.
no matter what the situation
no
is.
hyper, no this
Yeah.
thing. You shouldn't get excited. You see, in the training is because I've been following the Shubhanshu Shukla, all the videos. They concentrate on how calm you are, how poised you are. This thing apart from other things.
Does it also have to do with your overall personality or your behavior?
Everything. I mean, they test you on everything. How friendly you are. How this thing. I mean, your poise. How pleasant you are. You know,
the movement.
How you interact with people. Because if you are staying in the space station or if you are going to stay in the moon, you cannot be a little rigid and, sort of thing. You have to be a little understanding, little flexible, childish.
Yeah.
We are very particular about that. You can't be too much of a serious type. No, at all.
You would have definitely accompanied Mr. Neil Armstrong to the moon then.
Unfortunately, it's not there.
Yeah. But if you want to watch more about this, you should watch The First Man starring Ryan Gosling.
I've got that.
Yeah, and I think so the test that, that I saw in that movie, the kind of test they had to, go through.
Yeah.
The constant revolver machine
yes.
and that. And,
It
most
was
of the
there
times...
for this thing also.
For this Axiom 4, okay.
Also.
Shubhanshu Shukla, which made him
They
the
all
first
have to go
Indian.
through it.
Yeah.
See, my thing is Yuri Gagarin versus the other chap. Two people are always there, backup. There is a moment that comes that final moment comes, look, you are the guy who's going. What happens to the other guy?
What happens to the other guy? No?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've known this about Rakesh Sharma and Ravish Malhotra.
So you met Rakesh Sharma ji also?
I met him a number of times.
Yeah.
To launch it. And it is supposed to pirouette. It has to go like this.
Okay.
There was some issue on that.
And this was part of their mission?
Part of the mission. So NASA said that Kalpana Chawla ka kuch taklif hai. She didn't do it properly and she was blamed.